been doing here in Japan, as we've been going on different campuses and sharing about our faith to Japanese students. So if you didn't know, we're part of, I think you guys know it as CCC, but in Nagoya, it's called Student Impact, and then in Australia, it's called Power to Change. So part of what we do when we come here is that we go out onto different university campus. So I go into Nanzan. I think David goes to Meidai University, and we basically just walk up to students and start talking to them and getting to know them, and hopefully kind of guiding the conversation to eventually talk about God, about the meaning of life and purpose, and hopefully talk to the students and get them to start thinking about who God is to them. And so there's many different stories that have come because we've been here for 3 weeks now. But I just want to share a story about a girl who I had met 2 weeks ago. To hopefully encourage you guys. So I've been journeying with this girl. Her name, actually I won't say her name, but how I met her, I actually had been really nervous, like going out talking to Japanese students because I don't speak Japanese, and it's really hard sometimes if you don't meet someone who speaks English. And so I had been asking my partner to start all the conversations because I was too scared to. But then my partner had to go to the bathroom, and I was standing by myself feeling like sad that I couldn't start a conversation. And then I saw a girl sitting by herself, and I was like, okay, I'll just do it. And I prayed to God. I was like, please just guide this conversation. Let me just depend on you. And I walked right up to her by myself and just started talking to her. And surprisingly, she actually studies English, so her English was very good. And we just got to talking, and it was really great just kind of getting to know her better. She'd lived in the US for a bit when she was in elementary school, which is probably why her English was so good. And I got her, actually, she asked for my contact details so that she could talk to me again. And I was like, oh, sure. And so we exchanged contact details, and that was it. But part of what we do also is we run events to invite students along and meet them again and help them meet other Christians. So I messaged her and invited her to a home party that we had, where we had dinner at someone's house, and she came along and she was really excited to meet people. But that night, as we were eating dinner, we started talking more, and I told her we were a Christian circle from Australia. And so she started asking a lot of questions about the Christian circle. She was like, what do you guys do here? Like, what do you do in a Christian circle? Like, why do you guys have a Christian circle? And so I was sharing that, like, we read the Bible together sometimes. We, like, part of it is growing together and learning more about God together. And she opened up and said that she was like, oh, I'm a Christian too. I went to a Bible school, like, with a friend. I think basically when she was in the US, her friend took her to Bible, like, studies, and she learned about God there. But I don't know if she understood how much, like, I don't know if she understood what a personal relationship with God looked like at that point, but she definitely had believed in God, but didn't have many opportunities to kind of pursue that more when she came back to Japan. And so I was so excited to hear her, like, excitement about Jesus. And so I was like, would you like to start a Bible study with me and another staff member from CCC? And she was super keen. She was really excited. So we decided to meet up again. And so Friday morning this week, we met up, and me and the staff member decided to run through the gospel with her. And we have a booklet that kind of has 4 points to explain the gospel in an easy, digestible manner. And yeah, we wanted to make sure that she understood what Christians believe and what the gospel is, and clarify anything that she didn't understand. And so we walked through that quite slowly that morning. And at the end of the booklet, there is an opportunity for a student to basically accept Jesus into their life and commit to following him. And when we got to that stage, we read it out. She was like, whoa, yeah, I really believe this. I really want to pray this and mean it. And I think I do believe it. And so we read, like, the little prayer at the end. And she committed her life to Jesus in there. And it was like so, like, I was so amazed because I was like, whoa, did this really just happen? And I kind of relate to what Pastor Willie was saying before. Like, I felt like I really did nothing in this whole encounter with her. I just stood there and watched as God worked in her and had already been working in her. And I was just there willing to participate and watch him and find joy in this experience. But yeah, we've basically planned to meet again, and she's going to start a new study about what it looks like to start your life with Jesus. But that's one story of how God has been at work through us as we're here in Japan. But there's many other stories of how small seeds have been planted in different students. But yeah, that's a small story from me. There's probably Ask Us More. We have more stories to share. But yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good.